Hi guys, how are you today? I'm okay, not too bad. But this wheel not doing so well. Basically, it's buckle. I show you. So I put something here, and you can you can hear it. Yep. So, long story short, um, this wheel is the Mavic XA, and I'm not sure which year was it, but a friend of mine sold it to me, really good price. Because he was really nice. He knew that I was in the situation that I couldn't source any wheel set at the time because there was a pandemic, the COVID related shortage in supply for bike part is even happening in Thailand. And at the time, about 3 months ago, I couldn't find any wheel set, the one that I wanted. And I mean, I said the price range, which is within 250 pounds or about 10,000 baht. And because such a budget, it just too low, in my opinion. I know, but I knew is it possible to get such a good wheel set for such a price? Although it could be about 25% more at the time, I'm making this video. But again, let's say it could be about 350 pounds maximum. Let's say that. All right. Let's say 300 pounds. Yeah, for the sake of the video. I didn't have that money at the time, and my friend just offered me this one. I'm not going to talk about the price, but it was really good price and just the rim width that I wanted. So it's 30 millimeter internal width. But the thing that I don't really like about it was it's a hookless rim. So there is no hook for the bead, the tire to hook on. It's hookless, which is basically I just think that's some BS way of manufacturer part bike manufacturer parts that trying to get a shortcut to do some cheaper thing by making easier process so they can increase the profits. But put that aside, it's turned out it's pretty good. It was okay. It's not too bad. But because this tire, I mean the wheel set, I think in my opinion was intended for XC riding, not really for hard trail riding, downhill enduro stuff like that. And as a result, basically it's buckle, but it's still okay. I still can repair it. I'm gonna send it to the professional tomorrow, and I think it's okay. It's not beyond repair. So what I'm gonna do with this one is once I fixed it, I probably use it for maybe a few months, and then I'm gonna sell it and build a new one. Yeah, that's probably the plan. And well, so the one that I'm trying to build, the new one, is probably based on the part that I can source. And at the time when I arrived in Thailand, I purchased a Polaris rim, which is I suppose it's Taiwanese brand, and they're pretty good. Made a very durable part. I can show you. So this wheel set is a Polaris, but this one is 21 millimeter internal width. This one is belong to my XC bike, which is now an XC bike. So it's XXC, Extreme XC bike. This muscle. Well, yeah, so it's got big rotor and a little bit bump up of the suspension to 120 millimeter and rubber poles. Yeah, so that's it used to be 7585 XC. Now it's XXC, now it's extreme. Anyway, come back. Well, so what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say that there's some brands that are really good, and cheap, like, really valuable, value budget part. Yeah, let's say that. And that's a brand that my friend recommended. It was a Sanduro or something. Chinese brand, of course, and it's priced about the same as Polaris, and it's 32 spokes. So of course it's gonna be more durable because more spokes, more force. This can be taken care of. And for the hub, I'm looking for. Actually, I'm looking for a Shimano, but they don't really make. 32 spokes with 6-hole disc brake mount, and they usually go with their center mounting. What do you call it? Center mount, the one that without 6 bolt. And if you're gonna say, hey, why don't you just buy the adapter? I'm not a fan of adapter, and that's the reason why that I bought boost wheel, and I'm kind of regret a little bit because boost wheel is great, but it's just more expensive. Yeah, that's the main thing, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on that. So from my experience last ride with my friend at Kaito, I borrowed his front wheel and I had to use the adapter, and it wasn't that bad. It's not like I'm having a bad day unless I have to remove it many times. And I'm just thinking, yeah, it's not that bad to have a non-boost wheel and just use adapter for, yeah. And that's probably the cheapest way to have a wheel set, a durable one, and cheap price. Yeah, so that's probably what I want to do. And what else I want? What else? Oh, about my unsuccessful attempt to put tubeless. Well, let me show you. I have got some part from China. Again, I'm a fan of Chinese product because it's cheap, but again, it's very bad. So I got these. So I hope you can see it. Well, this is the tubeless valve, and it has. I removed the valve, the Presto valve, but I just want to show you this. This is the one this look like when it's still good, and the one that is kaput. What's the better way to call it? Fucked up? Yeah, you heard me. It's fucked up. Oh, I don't even have the valve. I think I throw it away. Well, so tubeless valve. So this is before and this is after, and I tighten it so hard that is pull the rubber O-ring. Should I call it O-ring? It's not really O-ring. Let's call it seal. The rubber seal is broken off, and just like this. The reason why I tighten it that much because I use this one. I successfully have the tire, what you call it, in store. So I got my DHF over there. That's my mini DHF. And I installed it, and I used my floor pump to install it, and I got it up. No problem. But after 5 minutes later, the air just came out, and it started getting really soft. And after half an hour, it just flat tire. And I just thought, oh, maybe because I didn't have the sealant. So I put some sealant compound, the DIY one. It's pretty good. It's work. I put it because I made it before, like 4 or 5 years ago. I put my sealant in there and hope for the best. Although, even the best sealant, maybe, I would say it's really good sealant compound that I made. I used it before. It's really good. Still not good enough to seal the air leakage from the valve. How did I know? So I put some bubble from washing detergent, and it was a major leakage, so bad. And then I just start tightening this one. So I tighten it, the bubble getting smaller and smaller, so I just tighten more and more, shaking my wheel so the sealant could do the sealing. But you know, not enough, more and more. And at certain point, the rubber, it must have been removed. So basically the valve, the body just move out, just, and I just, oh my god, basically it's fucked up. And what happened to this one? Mainly because the way they built this valve, as you can see. So the better way to build the valve is to make it look like a nail, not like this where you just how you call it, just press fit the seal. Once you pull it hard enough, it just break off. It's, composite material. It's not gonna stay together because it's not homogeneous. I don't know what you call it. But if you make good design, the better design would be more like this bolt. Yeah. So no matter how hard you pull it, it won't really get destroyed easily unless, this thing just broke off. So that's the material fault because of the ultimate stress. But, this design shit. So whenever you see a tubeless valve look like this, do not buy it. Buy the one that's designed similar to this concept. All right. So that's what I wanted to say. I had a really bad day with that tubeless, and I just feel like, shit. Why don't things just go right for me? Why things just go wrong? It's every little thing that goes wrong, and I just, fuck. I had a bad day with. So, because at the time I was about to go riding with my friend the next day, so I was so frustrated and trying my best to make it work so I can go riding with my friends. Eventually, I have to resort to good old tube. Yeah, so that's how it happened. And I don't know why, but maybe you guys can tell me the reason why. Right now, I put like 40 psi yesterday, and now today is so soft that I can just, I can squeeze with my hand. It's just weird. If you know, let me know. It's new inner tube, and it's acting like this for both bikes. So this bike, my hardtail is also happened the same thing. I don't know what happened. I made sure that there's nothing in the inner tube inside and use my hand. Make sure that nothing in there, but I don't know. It just happened both bikes together at the same time, and just don't know why. I just put 40 fucking psi in there, both bikes, and like next day in the morning, it's just become 20-ish, maybe less than 20 psi. I don't get it. It's really, really pissed me off. Yeah. One last thing about my PhD. I have bad news. Well, the deadline is like March, and right now still have 2 more chapters left. And you probably say that, you have so much time for riding your bike, why don't you just do your experiment? Yeah, you're right. And partially it's also, I'm just don't really have the idea to write the chapter, like what the fuck to write. And even I consult with my supervisor, I just suppose that I'm not clever enough, I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm just dumb, too dumb to do PhD maybe. And yeah, I'm really struggled and couldn't produce any good work. Yeah, so I probably have to do something to extend the deadline, because I'm not gonna meet the deadline. I won't be able to meet the requirement. I won't be able to submit my thesis, and because of the semester started in KMUTNB where I work. Oh, just to let you know, I was a scholarship for the PhD, to do my PhD program from the government, which the government sponsor me in the on the condition that when the scholarship finished, I have to resume my duty and my affiliation KMUTNB full time. And right now I'm doing that. I'm back to my teaching work, and the workload is just unbelievable. Um, for now, it's 4 days a week working, so I have like a day probably. But in the future, it won't be that. In the future, there's gonna be one more module, and which means I won't really have time. Why? Because two of them, they are new modules to me. I never taught them before, and one of them, the one that I never taught it before, is a new topic. So it's like a selected topic for automobile engineering, and you need to think about something new and trying to, present it, the new topic. And it seems like, oh, you can do anything, whatever you want to do. But yes and no, because it seems like you can do anything, but it's got to be something that not the same thing that already exists in the course description, and it has to be new enough, and also related to the field, automobile engineering. And right now, yeah, we got the topic, so we're teaching MATLAB, Simulink, plus Arduino. So the goal is to have the student be able to do some position control, speed control, temperature control, and maybe some fuel injection control. Yeah, that was the goal. But the obstacle right now is that the COVID-19 with Omicron's variants, we can't really have the student in person. And now teaching is more challenging, because once you have something look like a lab, but you don't have a lab, you don't have the real physical meeting, that won't be possible to do the practice. Yeah, so that's the main challenge that I've been thinking about. And the second one is how to do the assessment, the examination. How do you gonna do it? Yeah, that's a big thing, and like my mind's blown. Right, so yeah, basically I can't finish my PhD in time. I need some time, and my work is huge. My work is a lot, full-time work. I just hope that the workload can be reduced a little bit. And one last thing is about my health problem. As you know, in the last video that I was in the hospital, and then I was doing some vlog. Yeah, let's change. Yep, and I was in the hospital for a sleep test, and the results come back 3 weeks later. It was Christmas Eve, where people were so wishful thinking, happy with their boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, family. I was in the hospital waiting a result from my doctor, and it's turned out I have sleep apnea, which is more like obstructive apnea. So it's like something's blocking my airway. And also I have a symptom where when I sleep, my breathing is just slowed down and calm down. It's too calm that I kind of stop breathing for some reason, I don't know. And that I have 28 AHI index. It's like event per hours on average. So basically, I stopped breathing. But it's not just stop. They included both stop it one and both that I may struggle, like breathing too slow, stuff like that. So the index is 28, where they defined that at 30 events per hour is severe. In my case, it's mid severe. So they issue me to rent the CPAP, which is a machine that supply positive air pressure continuously. And that basically I have a nasal cover. So they pushed air into my airway and I have to close my mouth and sleep with that. And it was horrible. The results is not very good. And when I tried the machine, it was great for the first few days. I woke up and I feel fresh, so refreshed that I just had some hope again that, hey, this can be fixed. This condition is fixable. But then the last 4 days, 3, 4 days before I returned the machine, I was struggle. I don't know, maybe it's just some allergy that my airway is blocked for some reason, and then the air come in but air couldn't come out. I was struggle to breathe out but not breathe in because the machine helping with breathing in, but I couldn't breathe out. And then I just I felt like I was drowning in, I just drowning. And I woke up several times at night to remove. And when I gained my consciousness, I just put it back on. Good thing that the machine was automatic, so it can turn on once you start breathing with the nasal cover. And once you remove it, it stops automatically. That's a good thing, so it doesn't make unnecessary noise. Yeah, that's the problem, and it seems that the machine is not appropriate for me. My body seems to reject it, despite of my effort to cooperate with the machine. And yeah, that's the thing that happened to me right now. And I just returned the machine on the 10, no, on the 10th day. So I used it for 10 days. I returned it on the 3rd of January. Yep. So I've been using that for 10 days, and first few days was good. The 4th, the 5th, the 6th day was okay. I couldn't feel things, but the last 4 days, probably, I just struggled. And then it seemed like my body just rejected it, and that's not very good news. Anyway, that's just an update, and that's a 24 minutes video, which you probably don't really watch it, but probably me watching it in the future. All right. I hope you not enjoy, but I just want to share, and I just want to keep as a diary for my future self. And I hope to see you next time on the trail. I hope that I can deliver you some video in the future as soon as I finish my PhD, and this will be a temporary sign off from releasing video until I finish my PhD. And until then, stay gnarly, live free, but still you have to work. Ride hard if you can, and get stoked. All right, see you on the trail. Bye bye.